Okay. Okay, awesome. So glad to be with everybody this morning. I'm Allison Liu. I'm the head of people and culture at Blip Billboards. We are in the billboard industry, but we're also in the tech industry. So we're this interesting mix of tech, which is disruptive, and then billboards, which is a really traditional industry. And essentially like a high level overview of how our business works is we take space that billboard owners aren't able to sell through contract, because that's mostly like how space is sold. But there's always like leftover remnant space that they're not making any revenue on. And then we take that like leftover space and then we sell it to small and medium-sized businesses who otherwise would not be able to buy contracts, which are, you know, often thousands of dollars each month. So really anybody with any size budget can get on a billboard with Blip. Our product is the web platform that our billboard owners use to manage the space that they open up for sale with us, and then that our small and medium-sized businesses use to set up billboard campaigns. So really similar to Facebook ads, where you can plug in your budget, where you want your billboards to be seen, you know, what time of day and things like that. And then you can work with our awesome marketplace team to, you know, get started or troubleshoot any problems that you might be experiencing with the platform. We are just a few years old. We're definitely a startup. So there's a lot of learning, a lot of growth that's available here as a part of the Blip team. We're pretty small still. We're just over 40 people. And we see ourselves as a family. So you know, we really like hanging out with each other and cracking bad dad jokes occasionally. Like it's been like a place where people have made really great friendships, and that's part of the design of Blip. And I've really enjoyed it. Like the people are definitely my favorite part, and obviously that's part of my job too, is working with people. But there's so much opportunity for learning from not only your team members, but also our leadership team, many of whom come from really, you know, impressive backgrounds in tech, in business. Like there's just like a lot of, you know, learning and growth that happens here. And especially because we are a startup, a lot of the times as a member of our team, you'll be the expert on what you do. And so if there's something that you don't know, or if we're needing, you know, advice or a proposal drawn up, like you're often the one doing that. And if you don't know something, like you're going out and researching and testing things. And that can be really fun, but it's not a great fit for everybody, because that's not, you know, what everybody likes is like a really like kind of test driven environment where there aren't always a lot of answers out there. Like you're the one, you know, creating the answers and finding solutions rather than just plugging into something that already exists or is already tested or that somebody's already built ahead of you. A bit about our CEO, Brent. He comes from a software development background, and that colors a lot of who we are as a company culture-wise. Like he's very nerdy, which is fun. But he's also very like problem-solving, like centric. Like he's very interested in building out new solutions and innovating. And he's not very like expressive or maybe communicative. So those are some of the things that we are definitely always working on. But we're like, if you were to kind of like bottle up our culture into a person, we'd be like, I guess, essentially a software developer. So if you think about maybe your stereotypical developer, you'll find a lot of those things like in our company, like a lot of emphasis put on solving problems and finding the best solutions, no matter where they come from. Like there's not a lot of importance put on like political gaming or necessarily like only listening to the people who are in senior leadership roles. Like if a great idea comes from an intern, like we're going to try it out. And that's been something that like I think is really awesome, because I don't necessarily see that like a lot of, organizations that are out there. I guess a bit about, what we are hoping to do, like long term. Like we have these 3 big vision goals, one of which is to become the best practice for small and medium-sized businesses, advertisers, people who want to buy billboard space. Like when they think of advertising and they go to Facebook ads, Google ads, we want them to think of billboards because they know that they can afford them, that they know that they work for them and how they work for them. We also want to become best practice for people who own billboard space and other media formats, as well as becoming like a place that the best people long to work. Like we're very interested in the development of our people. Like we're not perfect at like developing the talent that we have, but it's something that our leadership team is really interested in. And like something that I've really appreciated about our team and our company is that even though we may not be like super flashy or ceremonious, like who we are is who we actually are. Like, and that's played out in our policies, like how we hire, like even how we build our product. Like one of our founding principles is relationships over transactions. And I really love that because it's not something that everybody believes. We're of course like not perfect at it, but like just thinking about treating humans like humans, it makes a really big difference, not just like in your environment as a place of work, but also in your entire business. I guess beyond that, like we are hiring. Since COVID has affected the advertising industry, our hiring process is a bit slower. In the past, we were able to wrap up from beginning, like first contact to, deciding on whether we're going to hire somebody or not in a few weeks. And now we're somewhere closer to like 6 to 8 weeks, like on finalizing hiring decisions and approving everything through our finance team. Right now, we are hiring for a creative director, and that's somebody who would be like a mentor and the leader over our design, our graphic design, and our marketing teams. Like in the past, like our marketing and design teams, and actually currently they report to different people right now, but the creative director would bring those teams together organizationally. We're looking for somebody who's really comfortable at being a mentor of young talent, and helping them understand like what is good marketing, what is good design. Like we're really good at the tactical end of marketing and design, like getting stuff created and out there, but I think more like what we're looking for in that role is somebody who can coach up what's going to be really sticky, like as far as like the self-promotion that we put out there. We're also hiring for our agency and AdCom team. So that team, where like our marketplace team, which is sales, support, and success, they're selling to individual small businesses. Our AdCom and agency teams, they sell to, agencies and, big businesses. So typically bigger deals, and they're responding to requests for proposals and things like that. So we're hiring a sales development representative and an account manager over there. I guess beyond that, what else would be interesting for our crew today to know?
Yeah, so some of the questions coming in, I'll update you with a couple of those and maybe you can address that, and that might kind of get some of those things through. So basically, a couple of the questions coming through asking about a remote marketing virtual event role, remote workers. So of these positions that you've listed, is there potential for those to be remote, or are they kind of in the, in office?
That's a great question. So currently everybody at our company is fully remote. We are hiring a couple of remote roles that aren't yet posted on our main career site.
Okay.
but they would need to be in specific locations. So we're hiring an account executive in New York area and an account executive in LA, but they would need to be like in those geographies. But our headquarters
Okay.
are in Utah. Um, as far as our other roles, like the creative director, the SDR, and the account manager, we would probably prefer somebody who is able to commute to our Utah office. But we don't have a timeline for returning back into the office. But we would want somebody who would be willing to commute into office in the event that we do return. Yeah, but everybody right now like is remote, which has been kind of fun for our team members who have been remote in the past, like because it's kind of like level playing ground, like they're not
Right.
in office inside jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you, with the two positions that you did mention, the creative director and then somebody that's on the ad and agency team, tell us a little bit more about what does maybe a week in the life in one of those roles look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So creative director, like that is a brand new role. So there's a lot that like you will be creating. We are looking for somebody who has had marketing and creative direction experience in the past. They'll be building out like a lot of what that role looks like. But they'll be meeting working closely with our leadership team to make sure that like our marketing and our design strategies are parallel to our overall company-wide business strategy. You'll also be, running one-on-ones with each of your team members, helping them evaluate, their progress as individuals, but also their work, like how they're performing, how they're producing, and things like that. That's like pretty high level. For the account manager, that would be working with our agencies who sign up to work with us. So not like our individual small and medium-sized businesses, but our people who are working for probably like medium to large size businesses, making sure they understand how to use our platform, answering any questions that they may have, like demoing different features of our product that they haven't used before, and really showing them like how our product can, produce results for them. For the sales development representative role, like they would be doing like a lot of qualifying leads for our account executives, and like probably like on the phone a lot, demoing, screen sharing quite a bit. So really understanding like how our product works, and then being able to educate people who don't have any background or maybe just have a little bit of background about Blip.
Okay. Very cool. And then you had touched briefly on some potential remote roles opening up down the road even though they would be remote, they would kind of be located in the LA, New York type area.
Yeah.
What are those roles?
So those would be the roles that the sales development representative are feeding. So they're qualifying leads for like those account executives, and the account executives would take kind of like the sales process to the next level, like potentially meeting with people in person, like when we can do that again.
Right.
Like people who would bring pretty large accounts to our business. So that's, potentially like a lot of outbounding, a lot of just developing relationships.
Okay.
Probably would involve like a bit of travel depending on where exactly they're located. But we don't have like any like office locations in the New York or LA areas. Our office is just in Utah.
Okay. Very cool. And when I've done this, when I did the Get Hired Summit before and helped support with moderating, a lot of the attendees were interested in understanding a little bit more about, each person and, how you came to Blip and all of that. Tell us a little bit about kind of your background and how you got to where you are.
My path to Blip is pretty non-traditional. I studied, as an undergrad, I studied comparative literature and psychology. As a grad student, I studied public administration with an emphasis on local government. And so I actually started my career working for a mayor's office on their economic development team. And my focus area at the time was over startups and tech, which is how I got connected to. That kind of like started the path to where I am today. During that time, I started a women's entrepreneurship community called Braid, and ran that as a city program. When I left the city, I took Braid with me as a business and ran that for a year full time, which is actually how I met our CEO, Brent, because we were part of the same networking, like a networking group for entrepreneurs. And when he started building out this role, he thought of me and said, hey, like, I know you've never done HR before. I think you're good at it. Do you want to come work with our team? And I was really impressed with the way that Brent has built businesses in the past. Like he's had some pretty big successes with building and selling businesses. And I just really respected how thoughtful he is, and really wanted to learn from him. So I've been with Blip for a year and a half now in this role, and I've grown a ton. Like there's definitely been some pain along with that, like with any kind of significant growth. But I've been really grateful for the opportunities that I've had to, be given the chance to make mistakes and to try out new things and to be a part of something that's growing rapidly.
Absolutely. That's so cool. Yeah, it's always, I think, flattering, and it says something to somebody's ability to be flexible and agile when you kind of go into these routes from non-traditional backgrounds. But it's those inherent character traits that shine that make somebody say, it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to be good at it just because of who you are at a core. So that's awesome. Cool. You've already mentioned the and you already mentioned the Blip culture, which I think is so huge for potential, those of us that are out there looking for that next step. It's like, yes, we want a career, we want a job, but we also want to be appreciated and want to work for somebody that gives back to us. So
yeah, like I think that definitely being able to adapt and being flexible is something that's very important to success here at Blip, because like we are pretty fluid in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And we do ask our teams to adapt like on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And if you're not comfortable with that, if that's not something that you like doing, then it's probably not a great fit. Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad that you're able to share that. Everybody loves transparency. And so if anyone who's been watching or whether it's live or whether they follow up with this, what is the best next step for them to reach out to you, to send a resume, to have a discussion about one of the roles? How do you guys want to handle that?
Yeah, you can find me, of course, like on Mentorly's platform. You can reach out to me directly through my email, which is Allison, Allison. There's so many different ways to spell it, at billboards.com. You can also, find the roles that, like I talked about today, listed on our website. If you go to our landing page and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a careers link, and that will take you to our job postings page.
Okay.
But yeah, happy to, even if you're not interested in a role that we're offering today, like happy to hop on a call and talk more about, Blip, or, just what you're interested in, like as you're building out your career. Like I have helped quite a few people like with their LinkedIn profiles and their resumes in the past. So happy to do that. But yeah, always open to having a conversation.
Good. Well, I have posted your email address in the chat thread, and then also the link to the Billboard or Blip Billboard's website. I didn't get the career piece on there, but like you said, just scroll down to the career section. Usually it's pretty easy to navigate. And
it's at the very bottom of the page.
Very bottom. Okay.
Just keep scrolling until it doesn't scroll anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thanks so much, Allison. I'm very excited to hear what Blip has to offer. I know I really enjoyed the billboards and seeing those all over the country, and just wish you and Blip the best of successes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome.
I hope to hear from some of the Mentorly community soon. Oh, I'm also in the Slack channel.
Okay,
So you
perfect.
guys,
And I've seen some text that the Slack channel is blowing up. So for those of you that are curious about
oh,
that, get on the Get Hard Slack channel and see what we've got going on over there.
okay. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Bye.
awesome. Bye.